Johnny in Trouble.
There stood the great pear tree, its boughs laden with mellow fruit, just as Johnny had seen it every day that week as he went to school. He wondered as he walked slowly past if Mr. Knight would not give him one of the pears. And he stopped, half resolving to ask the old farmer for one. But Mr. Knight looked cross, Johnny thought, and the little boy hurried on toward home. All that evening his mother noticed that Johnny seemed absent-minded, starting at every little noise, and having nothing to say. At last bedtime came, and Johnny crept off to his room, forgetting to kiss his mother good night, and feeling guilty and mean. For this poor, weak little boy had in mind a wicked plan. A plan to steal some of those lovely pears. Yes, Farmer Knight would never miss them. And it was only a little way across to the garden where the tree stood. He could almost see it from his window as he looked out into the moonlight. At last, when all was still and Johnny knew his parents must be asleep, he climbed out of bed, raised the window, and climbed out, thinking it very good that he had made no noise. He felt quite brave now, for conscience was beginning to feel offended at the cold treatment which he had received, and did not venture to warn the guilty boy again, except to give a slight twinge and whisper, "Thou shalt not steal." But Johnny did not care to listen just then. Never stopping to think, he hurried on till he stood right under the tree. Now his bravery seemed to have left him, for he trembled terribly and imagined he heard Mr. Knight coming out to shoot him. But the honest old farmer was fast asleep, little dreaming of what was going on in the orchard. Johnny waited a moment, but seeing nothing to fear, he climbed the tree and filled his pockets as fast as he could. Every pocket was full, and he was just starting down when the limb broke, and crash came the poor boy down through the branches. His screams brought out Mr. Knight, who found Johnny lying upon the ground with a broken leg. The old man shook his head and said, "It's my opinion the boy has paid dearly for his pears, so I'll not scold him." It was weeks before Johnny could walk, but he had learned a lesson he was never to forget. And when tempted to do a wicked deed, he thought of the stolen pears and said, "Get thee behind me, Satan." That would have been a hard lesson.